Hey guys, it's Andy once again with another installment of A Story Goes With It. And this time, the date line is December 1983. And location, London, England. 1983, I enlisted in the U.S. Air Force in February of 83. And after going through all my training and everything, I got my first assignment, which was to a base uh, in Eastern England called RAF Mildenhall. And Mildenhall is about an hour and a half north east of London. And when I got there in the summer of '83, spent most of the summer acclimating myself to to the base itself and to the culture. The English people are very nice, people. They're very friendly. Even towards the military, got along great with those people. And there wasn't much to do in the area where Mildenhall was, a lot of farm area and everything. So if you wanted to do anything, go see something, go shopping or going to see, a concert, you had to go to London. And of course, this is the days before the internet and everything. The only way you found out, about concerts coming to London was, through print adverts, newspapers, what have you. Well, on the base, they had it was a travel agency, and this travel agency would they could book you cruises, trips to to Paris, to Belgium, Italy, all the nice cities on the continent. And they could book these 4 or 5 day excursions or whatever. But they also were ticket brokers for for concerts in London. And one day I saw an advert for Def Leppard, who were touring for Pyromania, which was their third album. And it was a huge success. And they'd already done their U.S. tour, and they were doing a tour of England. They were going to be playing in London in mid-December. So I bought tickets with some co-workers, and the tickets. Here's an advert that I found online for the concert itself. I cut this one out of the bottom one here out of the newspaper, and this is the original advert. Def Leppard, and opening act was a band called Air Race. Air Race was actually Jason Bonham's band, first band, who had a record deal. Of course, Jason being the son of the late John Bonham from Led Zeppelin. They were the opening act for Led Zeppelin. And I apologize for the glare from the lighting. But this is the ticket stub. Now, ticket stubs for British shows, are a little bit different from the American ones. They're not printed on that heavy stock of paper, like, back in the day, from the 70s and 80s in the States. It's a very thin piece of paper, but it basically gives you the name of the venue, the Hammersmith Odeon, and then it gives you your seat number and all that. So on the back of the ticket, because you can see there isn't any the name of the band printed on the front. On the back, they would take a rubber stamp and stamp the name of the act on the ticket. So tickets were £4.50, and the British pound at that time was worth, it wasn't quite $2 to the pound. So anyway, I mean the ticket cost under $10, which was a great price to see Def Leppard. So the show, like I said, the show was at a place called the Hammersmith Odeon, which is in central London, just to the east of all the all the main the main attractions. and it's in a town, it's in a section of London called Hammersmith, and that's why. And Odeon is the company that owned the theater, so because it was in the town of Hammersmith, Hammersmith Odeon, and so many famous concerts have been had been shot there. Even to this day, the venue is still open, and they have great shows. The concert for the people of Kampuchea, the benefit concert, which benefited the people in India after they had some major natural disasters down there. Let me see. David Bowie played his farewell as Ziggy Stardust at the Hammersmith Odeon. They made a film. They made a film about it. But you name it. Anybody that's anybody is. When they go, if you tour in the UK, you definitely, you want to play the Hammersmith because it's so, it's kind of like the Wrigley Field or the Fenway Park of, baseball here. But anyway, so if you can imagine, didn't have a car, so we're taking public transit down to London from Mildenhall, which, like I said, is about an hour and a half bus ride. And because back then, London being, a very large metropolitan city, much like New York, they didn't have transportation that ran 24 hours a day from London back to the base where I was stationed. So I had to take a day's vacation, because I wouldn't be able to get back to town until the next day. So I think there were 3 of us that went to this show. We took a day's leave, and went down to see the show, and it was awesome. Once again, the Hammersmith it's a small theater, like the Shays Buffalo, just probably under 3,000 seats definitely. They started out with Rock Till You Drop, Photograph. They played all the great songs from that record, Pyromania, as well as a lot of stuff from High and Dry, which is the first album I'd ever heard from Def Leppard. They played a lot of, Bringing On the Heartbreak, so they played all the big stuff from High and Dry, and a few from their debut album, which was called On Through the Night. There's, 3 or 4 really great songs on that as well. Rock Brigade, one of my favorites, on that one. So that was an awesome show. And I bought some souvenirs. I bought like a sweatshirt and a tour book, and I still have them someplace stowed away. But the significant thing about this was, I believe this was the 15th of December, and there were, I think, 2 or 3 shows left on the tour. There was a couple in some other UK cities like Birmingham. There might have been one up in Glasgow, Scotland. But these ran through about just before Christmas. The tour was winding down. But the significant thing about this is that on New Year's Eve, 1983, Rick Allen was driving in a Corvette on some very narrow roads, and he was passed by a guy driving another sports car. So of course, he's going to try to show this guy up, and driving much, much too fast for those narrow, winding roads there in England. Ended up rolling the car, and he, of course, he lost his arm. The rest is history. But so if you think about that, I saw Rick Allen playing with 2 arms for one of the final shows of his life. Playing with 2 arms, and it's a pretty cool thing. Like I said, it was a great show. Def Leppard always put on great shows. I've seen them 4 times, and they never let you down. That's for sure. But that's my story goes with it for Def Leppard and the winter of 1983. And we'll see you again next time. Please leave your comments, and hope to see you again. Okay, guys? Thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.